You're listening to the Balanced Educator Podcast, episode number 154. Welcome to the Balanced Educator. We're your hosts, Kaylee
and Josiane from Educalme. Our intention is to equip and empower you to feel more calm, balanced, and joyful in all aspects of your life.
Hello there and welcome. We are so excited and happy to have you here with us today. So, if you're looking to implement a mindfulness and social emotional learning program in your classroom, in your school, or in your whole district or school division, it's important to ensure that the program curriculum is backed by research and is evidence-based. You don't want to be implementing a program and putting the work into that if you don't know that it's going to yield some results. So this can be an overwhelming task because there's lots of programs to choose from and doing that research can be tough. So we're going to simplify this for you a little bit today. In this episode of the Balanced Educator Podcast, we are going to explain the research and evaluation behind our program, the Educalme Mindfulness and SEL program for schools. So the point of this episode is to kind of help you determine if Educalme might be the right fit for you and your students and your needs. So we're going to keep this episode short and sweet just to give you this important information that you need to have in your hands to make the right decision for you. So first things first, let's explain what is Educalme. So if you have been listening to the podcast for a while, you've probably heard us talk about this program, but if you're new and maybe you forget, I'm going to outline exactly what it is. So Educalme is an online, ready to use and bilingual, it's in English and French, daily co-regulation program for K-12 students and their teachers. The Educalme program guides students and their teachers through a daily mindfulness practice that builds coping strategies, self-regulation, growth mindset, emotional intelligence, compassion, focus, and more. This program improves student and teacher well-being by creating a trauma-informed classroom environment that fosters positive behavior and academic achievement. So the whole goal of the Educalme program and kind of what sets it apart is to support both students and teachers. So teachers don't have to become experts, don't have to take lengthy trainings to be able to use this program. We have just a short 15-minute training video to explain how to implement the program in your classroom, and then you're ready to get off to the races with your students, or maybe the opposite of that. You're ready to slow down with your students. So every day the routine is that you log into the website, you press play on that day's lesson, and you listen to the 5-minute guided audio with your students. That is the core part of the program. Super easy to fit into your daily routine. It's made by teachers, by Josiane and I, who have lots of experience in the classroom and have been doing this in our classroom for many years. And we've also tested it in many other classrooms, gotten feedback, and improved the program over time until it's become kind of a well-oiled machine. So this will take a small portion of your day, but yield lots of results in terms of time coming back to you because of reduced behavior problems in the classroom, improved resilience, improved focus, and reduced stress, which is going to support you as the teacher and allowing you to be the best teacher for your students and to be really present for your students. Now, using the Educalme program, both teachers and students are going to be learning skills and really building on those skills little by little every day, so that by the end of the school year or the end of the semester, you're really seeing big results in your growth as a teacher and as a student in many different areas that I just outlined before. So, we're looking at improvements in coping strategies, self-regulation, so the ability to manage your emotions in a healthy way, growth mindset, so believing that you are able to learn new things, that learning is hard and that's normal, and that with practice and repetition, you will get better over time. And that's all part of the experience of learning. Emotional intelligence, so really understanding, being able to adapt to your emotions, being able to process your emotions in a healthy way, and act in a compassionate way for yourself and others. You're going to build your compassion. You and your students are going to be building compassion. So that sort of empathy piece for yourself and for others, being able to put yourself in another person's shoes, and understand kind of their motivations and how their emotional state might be the motivator behind the actions that they're taking. And it's going to build focus. So many teachers talk about not only improved focus for themselves, they're able to get more work done during the day because they're better able to manage distractions, but also for students. So teachers talk about being able to accomplish so much more in a school year when they're using this program because of all the skills that they and their students are learning throughout the year that translate into skills that support them as teachers and support students as learners throughout the year. So let's talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of intentionally focusing on one thing at a time. So practicing mindfulness gives students and teachers coping strategies for stressful experiences and emotions, and has been shown to create significant improvements in mood. So what I just said there comes from peer-reviewed research in 2 different articles. Now, we're going to link this research article in the show notes for this episode. So you'll be able to look at this, a PDF of what I'm talking about today, and be able to check out these sources that I am citing today. So studies also show that practicing mindfulness can reduce symptoms of stress, anxiety, and depression in teachers and in children. Practicing mindfulness helps children to increase attention and self-regulatory skills, and appears to improve student academic engagement and achievement. So more mindfulness was shown to correlate with better academic performance, fewer suspensions from school, and less stress in middle school students, according to 2 MIT studies. Practicing mindfulness daily can support teacher and student well-being and functioning. And furthermore, teachers that follow a mindfulness program report more adaptive strategies for coping with job stress. So the Educalme program is based on mindfulness practice. So the mindfulness practice is what students and teachers are being guided through every day in those daily lessons. And then through the mindfulness practice, we really focus on different themes and different learning outcomes to be accomplished through listening to these calming guided audios. So not only are you practicing mindfulness, but you're learning about emotions, you're learning self-regulation strategies, you're learning coping skills, you're learning growth mindset. So we've melded the mindfulness aspect that so many studies are showing is great for teachers and students. We're melding that with teaching outcomes and instilling skills that are useful in many different areas. So a third-party evaluation of Educalme demonstrated that this program improves self-regulation, focus, resilience, classroom management, and more. So we've collected qualitative, quantitative, and narrative data from Educalme users, and this data demonstrates that the Educalme program creates the outcomes that are observed in peer-reviewed studies that I just talked about. So all of these benefits that research on mindfulness in the classroom has been shown to give for students and teachers, the third-party evaluation of people that used the Educalme program were seeing those same outcomes. So this shows that using the program is delivering the outcomes that we're looking for by practicing mindfulness. So now let's talk a little bit about social emotional learning. So research shows that well-implemented, evidence-based social emotional learning programs are the most effective way to support young people's success and well-being. So that is what's described by the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. So CASEL, if you have been learning about social emotional learning, you've probably heard about CASEL. They are kind of the large authority on social emotional learning. They have a really great information on social emotional learning and a framework for how to select a social emotional program for your school, your division, and how to align them with your goals. So that's a really great place to check out if you are new to social emotional learning and kind of want to learn a little bit more about it. Now, the Collaborative for Academic, Social, Emotional Learning, so CASEL, they talk about 5 core competence areas for social emotional learning. So they say that programs that are here to teach social emotional learning, they should be focusing on these 5 different areas. So Educalme addresses all 5 of the SEL core competence areas outlined by CASEL. So there's self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Each unit in the Educalme program is influenced by current research and best practices in education, neuroscience, and psychology. So Josiane and I are huge nerds. We have read so many books, so many articles. We love understanding how mindfulness works, how to best teach it, best practices for teaching mindfulness to students and to teachers. We have read many, many books, which I will have linked. We'll link it in the show notes. It's in this PDF that we will have in the show notes that you can check out, a list of just some of the literature that has influenced the development of the Educalme program. But it's everything from, textbooks from when we were in university. We've got things from textbooks to books written by experts in the education field, to psychology, to how the brain works from new scientists. So a variety of different sources that have kind of come together to inform the creation of the curriculum, the content that is in the Educalme program. So the intention of Educalme is to improve the well-being and the teaching and learning environment for students, teachers, and school communities by providing ready-to-use social-emotional learning, mindfulness, and co-regulation exercises. Now, our experience in the classroom as teachers has shown us that even teachers that really want to implement mindfulness, social emotional learning in the classroom, it can be a huge barrier when we haven't had the chance to become the expert in that thing. Now, with so much on our plate, it can be really hard to go off and take a lengthy training to become an expert in teaching mindfulness in the classroom. It can be expensive as well, and we don't always have access to that. So with the Educalme program, we wanted to make this a program that was really easily accessible, that teachers could get started with right away. They don't need to be taking a bunch of training first, and that they can be the learners alongside their students. So we had a teacher once that used our program that I think phrased it so well. They said, with Educalme, I get to participate. I don't have to facilitate. And we have seen this come up in other ways being spoken about the Educalme program from teachers that use it, that they really appreciate that, they just get to press play, And they get to learn alongside their students. Now, of course, as the teacher in the classroom, you're ensuring that you're setting up the classroom, the space, the expectations with your students for them to be able to listen to the 5-minute audios attentively and to follow along. So it's up to you to create those routines. But once the routine is set up and students know the drill for this daily practice, it just becomes part of the daily routine. Everyone sits down, everyone learns together, everyone feels calm together, everyone prepares their mind and body for calm and focused learning together. So it's 5 minutes as a teacher that you don't have to teach, you get to participate, not facilitate. So again, teachers don't need training to use this program. Now, we, of course, with our podcast, offer a lot of extra information to help you feel really confident and knowledgeable about mindfulness in the classroom, social emotional learning in the classroom. We do offer individualized trainings when a school or a division will reach out to us to ask us to do a specific training for their staff, but that's not necessary. The program can be implemented right away. We have a 15-minute training video in the free trial of our program, actually. So you don't even have to purchase the program to be able to get this training. And really, the 15-minute video is just teaching you how to create the routine in your classroom, showing you where to click on the website, showing you which lesson to start with so you know how to start. But from beginning to end, everything is ready for you as the teacher. You don't need to prep anything. You don't need to take long trainings. So teachers learn alongside their students by just pressing play on the daily lessons. They also have the option to use the printable, ready-to-use additional learning resources to connect the learning outcomes of the Educalme lessons to their regular teaching curriculum. So the listening to the audios, and we have videos as well. There's a whole unit on mindful movement. So those are movement videos to get the body stretching and blood flowing, or just moving in a calming way that works for the space constraints of a classroom. So it's either done right at your chair, or you just need a small amount of space on the carpet or wherever, or push the desks aside for a couple minutes and practice. But that is the core part. It only takes 5 minutes. Now, after that, we offer a lot of additional stuff that you as the teacher can decide, hey, I really enjoy this theme. This is something I'd like to connect to my science curriculum, or I'd like to connect it to my language arts curriculum, or whatever the curriculum is. We offer ways to do that. So we have printable lesson plans, which are for the teacher to just give you some extra ideas of how you can use the content in different ways, discussion topics, things like that. And then we have printable PDF documents that you can use for your students. So they are student booklets, and they ask questions about what the students have listened to in that audio, just to get them reflecting on what they have learned in that audio. We have posters that you can use as visuals, or print out, put around the classroom, or put up on the board as kind of a springboard for discussion. We have different projects like our letter of gratitude project, lots of different ways that you can connect what students are learning in the Educalme practices to your regular teaching curriculum, but that's up to you to decide whether you want to use it, whether you don't, whether you want to use some of it and not other stuff. So the program is designed to be easy to follow, but very flexible. We know that you are the expert in your classroom, and that you will find a way to use the content that is in the program to your benefit in a way that aligns with your style and your values in the classroom. So, in summary, research about mindfulness and social emotional learning in the classroom shows that these are both things that are going to help both students and teachers to be more effective in the classroom. And third-party evaluation of the Educalme program showed that the Educalme program creates these outcomes that we're seeing in these other peer-reviewed studies. So Educalme is evidence-based. So if this is a program that you think will be the right fit for you and help you to reach your goals, then you can rest assured that the program is based in research and it is evidence-based and that it has been proven to create positive results. So if you are wondering, how do I start using this program? Very easy. Go to educalme.com. That's spelled educalme.com. One more time. It's educalme.com. And from there, you'll be able to sign up for the free trial. Now, with the free trial, you'll get unlimited access to the first unit of the program, so it never expires. This is a great way for you to watch that free 15-minute training video so that you know kind of how to navigate the website, how to create this routine in your classroom, get some tips and tricks to help you have a lot of success right from the get-go. And then you will have unlimited access to the first unit to use with your students. So that's the Introduction to Mindfulness unit. So with that unit, you'll have about a month worth of daily lessons. Now you can absolutely reuse these forever if you want. Repetition is great. But if you would like more content to be able to focus on all those key areas that I talked about that the program focuses on. So things like coping strategies, self-regulation, growth mindset, emotional intelligence, compassion, focus, gratitude, and more. To access all of those themes and those units, then you can sign up for a full year membership, and that will give you access to everything. So go to educalme.com, educalme.com to sign up or to get more information. If you're like, Kaylee, that wasn't enough information in this podcast, I want to know more, you'll find everything you need to know on our website. Now, if you'd like to take a look at the PDF with the research and evaluation information that I shared in this episode today, if you'd like to be able to maybe share this with an administrator or another decision maker to kind of help decide whether this is the right program for your classroom or your school or your district, go to educalme.com/TBE154, and we will have it linked in our show notes for this episode. So again, that's educalme.com/TBE154. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. We appreciate you and the work that you're doing in the world. We hope that this episode was useful for you. If you found that you got value from this, then please share it with someone that you think will enjoy it too. We look forward to connecting with you again in our next episode.